Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. The man they call Meathead, the lovely Linda K. Linda, it's the Monday that we've waited for almost 2 years, 3 years. I can't even remember how long it's been. It's WrestleMania week. It's Monday the 28th. Tonight is WrestleMania Raw. Linda, are you ready?
So you're taking
Linda, I said
my gimmick that I took from Triple H when I do my ring announcing. That is what I do. No, because normally I'm the one asking that, and so carrying it on me, you kind of threw me off loop there. But no, I am ready. I mean, in terms like mentally, psychologically, physically,
How's the
workout wise,
suitcase?
yes. That no, that's what I was trying to get at. That's okay. I've got all day today. I've got tomorrow. I'm not leaving till Wednesday morning, but I was just going to say, though, going off what you started the show with, in that I dub this week every year the most wonderful time of the year. Not Christmas.
Not
Because, oh
Christmas.
no,
Nope.
it is WrestleMania week. It is my favorite week of the year, my favorite time of the year. Just a couple days away.
All right. So tell us about the sponsor real quick before we get into some news. And I want to hear what was going on this last weekend for Linda K in the local wrestling area. So,
Yes.
sponsor.
Our wonderful sponsor is the tremendous Collar and Elbow. Make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com and see the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. Of course, if you're heading to Mania, check it out. You still have time. I know the turnaround time as far as shipping, or maybe you have it shipped to where you're staying in Dallas if you
There you
need
go.
some new gear of Collar and Elbow at WrestleMania. Or if you're not going to be there, no worries. You always got to look good and be comfy. Collar and Elbow gear. Just go to collarandelbowbrand.com, and to save 10% off your order, use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Nice. All right. Linda, tell us what happened. I know you had a big show up in Merrill. Weren't you down in the Ville, down for OV Dub as well?
Yes, I was. As you call me, the Road Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I was down in Louisville at OVW. It was the go home show to the special, which is taking place. Well, if you're in the greater Louisville area, tomorrow night, Tuesday night at the historic Davis Arena, it is OVW Fight Night. Now, normally we do our weekly TV shows Thursday night, but because some of OVW's upper management will be down in Dallas this week, the Fight Night special is going to take place tomorrow night. However, it will air worldwide on Fight TV on its normal day and time this week, which is this Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We had some big things shake up. We've got some title matches lined up. We've got a street fight tomorrow night. We've got a blindfold match. We've got 2 title matches and possibly more. There's time for other things to help shape up OVW Fight Night. But then I made my way back up north and further north above Milwaukee, up in Merrill, Wisconsin, central Northwoods area, and we returned to Merrill, Wisconsin, that being GLCW, for Merrill Mania 2. Now, we've been in Merrill a couple of times, but this is Merrill Mania 2.
Yeah, did they have like a con there, like a table, gimmick tables and all that stuff there too?
I'm regarding us, sure, from GLCW, OVW, and special guest, Scotty Too Hottie.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know what? We had a packed house there in Merrill. They were very, very appreciative of us making our way there to put on a tremendous show. So I, as you call me again, the Road Warrior, I made my way back to Milwaukee yesterday, trying to catch up on stuff. And as you know, I still need to work in that suitcase because I got to get packing for Mania.
So I don't mean to sound like the sexist 1970 meathead that everybody thinks I am, but I'm not a girl, but you know what? I was actually packing my suitcase yesterday. I actually got most of it ready. I'm ready to go. It's been 14 years, Linda K. Matter of fact, a little story. I don't know if I ever told you this. That suitcase was bought in Orlando at a Dillard's for WrestleMania 24 because I went down there like a big knucklehead meathead with a damn duffel bag.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your original luggage broke. And you had to. You were forced to buy.
No, I looked broke. I was carrying around my gym bag going, this ain't right, dude. How can I travel in a gym bag? So Davey and I drove to a Dillard's and I picked up a brand new suitcase.
Ah.
Funny stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit of news here. Linda, we pre-show obviously before we get on, and uh, I know you weren't a WCW person at all. Now, those that
No,
are
I wouldn't say at all. I just didn't watch it as much
as
as I
intently,
watched
right?
WWF at the
Right.
time. Yes.
So Mark Madden had a big run on WCW for a long time as a guy backstage. They created WCW Live, kind of what we're doing here, and what we've done here was really a takeoff of WCW Live, created by Mark Madden. You had Bob Ryder, from back in the day. Well, Mark Madden and Ric Flair were doing the Flair Uncensored podcast. There's a little heat going on from this last weekend. Apparently, the Woo Nation Uncensored is on hiatus currently, effective immediately. And Mark had said, due to his traveling schedule, that he's not going to be able to do it anymore. Ric Flair replied back quickly and says, "Look, you know what? Actually, you didn't quit. I fired you." And it became a battle, and it seems to be a legit heat between the two of them. And then Madden, not holding any punches back, and says he didn't have the balls to tell him he was being fired, and he just stopped right there. So I don't know what's going on with Ric Flair. I mean, remember Ric Flair had his health issue a couple of years ago, and you guys can go on Twitter, read the rest of it. But there's some legit heat between Ric Flair and Mark Madden.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth, and words not holding much back, as you alluded to. You could go off. Is this a work, or if it's not? I just always wonder if it's some true stuff. I feel like sometimes it could just be kept internal. Like, why does everything have
Why
to
is it
be
got to
put
be
on
on
blast?
last? Right, exactly. And it sounded like that Madden was putting it on the back burner and didn't put it on blast. The way Madden put it says, "Look, if I travel, whatever, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do the show anymore effective immediately." All right, so that's a bland
Yeah.
statement covering it up. Rick did not. I don't know what Rick's deal was, but he says, "No, I fired you." What the hell, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the back and forth banter will continue a bit, and I will see what cord gets. What's this phrase? You know what I'm saying?
What
What the fun?
thread gets pulled? Maybe
Something whose cord gets struck the most, where it'll
who
end.
strikes the wrong chord?
Yes.
I mean, because I was hoping not to get into that part as well, because you saw music what happened this last weekend too, and that, I mean, that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
When we talk about Taylor Hawkins, the drummer for
Mm-hmm.
the Foo Fighters, and when Alanis was out on the road, he was the drummer for that Jagged Little Pill tour as well. And I mean, what an amazing drummer! But that it's that's a tough one to deal with. We can do that on another podcast another time. However, I also want to talk about somebody else that had a health issue within the last year, and it made a major announcement this last weekend. Triple H has said he will no longer be wrestling. And when he was being interviewed by Stephen A. Smith on the ESPN First Take show, basically said, "Look, I got a defibrillator in my chest, so you don't want to see me get zapped, in the middle of the ring." So Hunter
Mm-hmm.
can't bump anymore. And I'm going to be completely honest. It took me as a shock too. I mean, again, the Taylor Hawkins stuff, the Triple H stuff. We'll get into one other piece of news, Hall of Fame wise news that we had over the week as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the Triple H stuff, he said he is absolutely floored with all the tweets, because really, I want to ask you this question. I know that we didn't pregame this at first, but when I ask you this question, what is going to be your lasting memory of Triple H? I think there's three things that he's going to be remembered for, but I want to know what you think first. What is your lasting memory of Triple H?
Ah, man, there's so many, but I mean, when I think of Triple H, I think about his tremendous WrestleMania entrances. I'm just going that route
That's one of mine.
because
Yeah,
you
it's
and
funny
I,
you said that. That's one of mine.
yes, because I know you and I, as I'm sure many people as well, but you and I directly talk about how huge we are about the entrances and the theme songs. That's one of them. I think of the WCW Invasion,
Okay.
and I mean lots of. I mean, do you mean something more memorable, more
Anything.
to
I
the
mean, what
heart?
does it mean to
When
you?
he well, his shenanigans when he was impersonating Mr. McMahon. We had Shawn Michaels as Shane O'Mac. Those shenanigans, and of course the work he did at NXT, and just the newer, younger stars showing real life what he's done for them. Just because that's what the light we've seen him most recently. So that pops to mind. But me growing up during the Attitude Era, a lot of that is the DX or the DX memories. But his WrestleMania entrance is definitely
well, Linda, good news is you and I are on the same page. I think Triple H can be remembered for three things: being the game in the ring, from the DX stuff to the Evolution stuff to being, that damn good, being the game. Secondly, he revolutionized the entrance. He was doing something that I pop for, and you talked about it, the entrances. He had Motorhead play him out twice. He had these massive entrances like the Conan the Barbarian entrance, the Terminator entrance. He had Stephanie McMahon bringing him out. There was one year he had Alexa, Charlotte, and
Sasha, I believe.
Sasha bring him out as well. That's when they were down in NXT. They weren't up yet. And again, that's just the wrestling career, Triple H. He created NXT with William Regal, and they brought up this thing. And before either his health event or the fact that they were going to change after the AEW head-to-head on Wednesday nights, it was Wednesday night NXT was like a super indie, and I mean they had amazing wrestling. He brought pro wrestling back to WWE. So which one of those things are going to be more remembered as the years go by? I don't know, but Triple H, and really, if you think about it in his career, Triple H survived the burial. Remember, Triple H, after the curtain call, took the brunt of it. They weren't going to mess with Shawn Michaels, and they couldn't mess with Scott Hall or Kevin Nash or X-Pac because they were all gone. So they buried Triple H, and he took the heat, survived, and became one of the best ever.
Indeed, yes. And just hearing all the love he feels from everybody, that is great to hear. And one thing I do want to mention is us finding out about the scare with his heart. Now, there are a lot of wrestlers that we thought would never make an in-ring return, such as Edge, maybe even Daniel Bryan. I mean, Stone Cold, I don't know if it's gonna be a full-fledged match this weekend or what, but as we know, technology has changed. And I know those are neck injuries, but my point is this: unless something crazy happens with heart conditions, defibrillators that would allow him to in-ring, he probably won't, as he's mentioned, which is, understand, which is okay. We've got
it's okay. I don't need him
memories. Right.
I don't need him to.
Right. Including one more memory, Meathead. The drive-through wedding. That's another one that I remember. Who would have known in real life they would have gotten married to? Wow.
That's right. Right through, though, Chapel of Love, or Chapel O' Love. Yeah. Ever Triple H's.
I do.
Remember, he also slept with Katie Vick, but I mean, that's another story for another time. So Triple H, Hunter, Paul, we don't need you to wrestle anymore. Brother, thank you. Just thank you. I mean, again, more so than any of all those other things, I enjoy a rock band playing a wrestler in. And that really, I mean, Hunter, had DX play him in. Hunter had Motorhead play him in. Now we've had POD playing Rey Mysterio. We've had, Limp Bizkit playing The Undertaker. We had Kid Rock playing The Undertaker. Hopefully we have Alter Bridge playing in Edge. But I'm just saying.
We even had Salt and Pepper singing in Lawrence Taylor, right? Wasn't that? Yeah. The LT match.
Yeah, and that was okay too. We had Jim Johnston, formerly from WWE, playing in Bray Wyatt with a big mask on. You were down at that show, weren't you? That was I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so.
WrestleMania 30, I think. Again, Triple H, thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Living Color sing in CM Punk once too? Because I remember thinking like, wow, this must be
I feel like they
show
did.
They performed. Like maybe, I don't know, but here's the thing. I did see Living Color at Rock on the Range in Columbus, Ohio. I want to say maybe it was like 2015, and that was awesome just because I know them from the 80s. So I don't know if they've done stadium tours back in the day, but I was just remember thinking
they were from the late 80s. The thing that I remember the most about them is suing the TV show In Living Color.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
Yes, I digress. But anywho.
Let's segue into another really feel good story coming out of WWE before we get into SmackDown. The Warrior Award this year is going out to Shad Gaspard. Now, for those that don't know or those that have forgotten, let's recap it real quick. Shad was out swimming with his son. I think it was out in California in the ocean. A riptide or a wave had grabbed both of them. People came out to rescue and try to help him. They got to Shad first, and he says, "Leave me go save my son." And Shad didn't make it, and his son was saved. I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about it right now because, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, the last loving thing that his son's going to see is that his father saved his life. You know, his father sent over these men to go save him, or women, you know, the lifeguards to save him. So this year, the Warrior Award goes to Shad Gaspard. I think it's very deserving.
Absolutely. I know you sent that in a text message to myself and Matt. The first thing I sent to you was the tear emoji or crying, because that
Right?
did make me get choked up as well. I was actually driving and I saw that and I was just like, oh. But as I said to you, well deserved and great recipient. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't realize that they were going
Came
to
out
do
of nowhere.
yeah,
Right?
aware this year, just because I wasn't sure how the Hall of Fame structure was this year. But when that news broke, excuse me, from you, I found out. Just happy to hear that, as you said. Despite the situation, getting, I'm just thinking about that actual award, excuse me, being given, and I was like, oh man, that's going to be a lot of tears when
Yeah,
that
it's tough
happens.
thinking about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I believe that was my first collar and elbow shirt.
Oh yes, that's right.
Heavyweight hero, because he always wore the Mike Tyson shirt. So they modeled one after the Mike Tyson shirt, and I 100% had to have it. Had to have it. All right, let's do some quick touches on SmackDown and Rampage before we get going today. First off, the Brock Lesnar stuff, the Roman Reigns stuff is still good to me, and I still enjoy it, and I'm still entertained by it. I love Brock showing up and going into Roman's locker room. It says, "Oh, Tribal Chief, boy, you got a lot of room back here. Let me just put my foot." Oh, and he's eating the grapes and doing all this stuff, and he's just smashing stuff. Boy,
Spin that champagne out.
yeah, it's funny. When he gives chair shots or bumps to people, he doesn't do it softly. I hope these guys know that he's gonna lay them in.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the security guards, those guys took some wicked chair shots from Brock.
Yeah, I too am enjoying what we're seeing right now. This cat and mouse chase. It's what we should be getting. We gotta save everything for the big night, for the big event, for the biggest match of all time, taking place at WrestleMania between Roman and Brock. Well done once again. We got them almost face to face, but not physically touching. That's okay. We're gonna get that. We want that. We'll see that this Sunday night at WrestleMania.
Did you see that his flannel has his Brock Lesnar logo on the back now? I wonder if that's for sale. A Brock Lesnar flannel. Saskatchewan flannels available at the shop, the merchandise tables for $34.99. Every time I say Saskatchewan, I hope you know I think of like what's the movie with Adam Sandler and all his friends where they did 1 and 2. What was the first one?
1 and 2.
Yeah, where it's Chris Rock, it's Kevin James, it's Adam Sandler, I can't think of it, but there's that. Yeah, Grown Ups. That's it. When the girls are at the water park and that big muscular guy starts flexing in front of the women, it comes up, "Hey, ladies, how's it going?" If Brock would start talking like that, and I know I've brought this up before, if Brock broke into that accent right there, I would lose my shit. That would be the end of me. All right. So Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of ringside security, and obviously they're independent workers, but they're taking some stiff chair shots. One other positive that we got from SmackDown was the return of the King. The King is back. It's King Woods.
Yes, absolutely. Great to hear that. A couple weeks ago, I think it was right after we discussed that injury to Big E, I said this to you. I was like, well, there's still some unresolved business.
Yes, there's an unsolved mystery.
Between Sheamus and Big E and whatnot, or between Kofi and Ridge Holland, and when they brought up Butch, and I asked you, I was like, wait, when is Xavier Woods coming back? And you're like, oh, he should be back before Mania, possibly. I was picturing a 3-on-3 match here. Obviously, that's not going to be taking place at Mania this year, but great to see King Woods back. Yeah, at least more of the New Day instead of just Kofi. It's still the New Day. I know they were going with the whole Kofi Kingston and Big E team for the moment where they weren't necessarily saying New Day, but now you
Right.
have
So now it's
King Woods
just
back.
Woods and Kingston.
Ah,
So
New Day.
even though they are the New Day, and Kingston even referred to himself as the New Day, but they won't
Mm-hmm.
call him that. So whatever. All right. So like I said, we're not going to go match by match from SmackDown this last Friday, but I got to swing it, and we got to talk about the program for the Women's World Championship on SmackDown. I'm having a hard time with this because I want to see a great match between Ronda and Charlotte. Charlotte is an amazing heel, and she's gotten so much better in the 10, 15 years, whatever amount of time she's been on the main roster. I don't remember, but she's also got like 13 world championships already. Ronda Rousey is absolutely terrible on the microphone. I'm sorry. I can't do it right now. If anything, I mean, like when they have a talent that can't speak as much, you get them a manager or you let the other person do the talking. Charlotte should do almost all the talking. She comes out smiling. I'm talking about Ronda now. She comes out smiling, and I don't believe her. When she talks in a monotone. I don't believe her.
Well, I mean, I guess to her defense, we know what she can do outside of wrestling. She's shown that. She's proven that. Within UFC, I suppose you don't get. I mean, you can cut your own promos live,
Right.
obviously in promos or after the matches. I know it's definitely not the same as it is in pro wrestling or sports entertainment, however you want to put it. But yeah, I was, I knew that this was something you were going to bring up for today's show, and I was thinking along lines as well as Brock before having Paul Heyman pretty much do all his talking.
Mhm.
You got other managers, even Diamond Mine. Like that's another example of Malcolm Bivens just speaking for their group as well.
Sure.
I guess you have Ronda since day one ish, since her debut in WWE. She's done her own thing. She's been a lone wolf. She's been a silent assassin. I'm using monikers for other wrestlers that have been used, but that's
Mhm.
what she is. And I feel that Charlotte's definitely a lot stronger than her on the mic, and maybe it could just be kept everything physical. Uh, but I guess the way they're aiming this year with the angles at Mania, you have Charlotte being the cocky one who can, back up what she's saying, but you
Right.
also have Ronda and how Charlotte's saying to Ronda, like, you just have one move and, let's see you try to out
She's not even really
Olympic him.
trash talking Ronda. She's
Yeah.
talking more about herself than she's trashing Ronda.
Yeah.
Which is
So,
fine, but I mean,
yeah.
Ronda's got to be able to talk about herself then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see here this week. And I think that Ronda will show lots of other holds that she can do, that she will introduce a lot to the wrestling audience.
It's the main event of Saturday, and Linda, they announced almost all the matches and what nights they're going to be on, giving
Yeah.
people the choice now of what night they're going to go to, if
Yeah.
not both nights. Both women's matches are Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I did hear the KO show, excuse me, is not going to
Saturday,
close out anymore, but it is Saturday. So I
right?
didn't hear
No,
you
Ronda
said
and
Scarlett
Charlotte
and
are going
Ronda
to
are
close
the
it.
closers. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, defense of Ronda, she's just going to let her moves do the talking for her and give her the beat down
See,
that
here's the other
she's.
thing. Here's the other thing too: is Ronda hasn't done anything. She's come back. She competed in the Royal Rumble and won it. She hasn't had a match since.
The Elimination Chamber
Oh, the
for the one
Elimination
arm.
Chamber, sure. Yeah, but that was a tag match, and I mean, it was
Mm.
about a 3 minute spot. She's not competing week after week, or I'm having a hard time. I'm excited for the match, but I need it to be here because none of the build interests me at all. I'm more interested in Becky and Bianca. They're going back and forth at each other.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh, well,
actually have even more interest in the tag.
you really? I was one more thing I was add about Charlotte and Ronda. I know you and I didn't discuss SmackDown last Monday, but I did like the table spot that Ronda got at
Yeah,
ringside, and so
yeah.
that was one thing that really did
It
excite me.
was
And then
good brutality. But I mean, the
yeah,
talking isn't there.
oh, we'll go back to the physicality between their match this Saturday.
Okay, all right. Well, that was SmackDown. Let's get into Rampage. Rampage, again, they are continuing to throw in 4 matches in an hour. I mean, they are not playing games on Rampage. They start off at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and I mean, the first match starts within seconds.
Yeah.
Like one of them are already in the ring, or there's been times where both competitors are sitting in the corner and they ring the bell at 01. Ding, 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 because they've got 4 solid matches. And we had a 5th segment. So here's the matches. Excuse my hiccups. We had Allen Angels number 5 and 10 taking on Red Dragon. We had Dustin Rhodes and Lance Archer. We had Nyla Rose in her match. And we had the main event of Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland, which was Swerve Strickland's debut, and it was for the FTW Championship. Plus, QT Marshall got a certificate of accomplishment, and he gave it to Hook.
Yeah. Who didn't accept it, but that's okay.
Well, Aaron Soho accepted it. Yeah, with his face.
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah, he was eating glass there. Let's run through the matches. Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer with America's Top Teams, Dan Lambert taking on the Natural Dustin Rhodes. The Murder Hawk Monster went right through him. Jay Lethal with a weird promo saying that he took losses to Adam Cole and Ricky Starks, and he took him to the limit, and he's got to figure out what's going on with him. A promo in the ring from Fuego del Sol. And he called out the House of Black. It's weird, but I'm interested. So he calls them out, and then here comes the House of Black. Nice little lighting thing that they did there. First, they light up Brody King or Buddy Matthews, then Brody King, then Malachi, and then they start the beatdown. But you know what? The Dark Order with the save. So could Fuego del Sol be getting help from their friends, the Dark Order?
Yeah, sure. It looks that way. I mean, House of Black, lots of enemies. And I think this is something good for Fuego del Sol. I think right now I don't think there's really any other major storyline for him right now. From what I recall. So.
Here's the thing too with Fuego del Sol. Malachi could do his mist. It's not going to hurt him. He's got a mask on.
Well, if it's something so damaging that Julie Hart still needs an eye patch, maybe it goes through the screen of the mask. It's like a little thin layer. Huh?
Well, I mean, Rey Mysterio lost an eyeball, and he's still okay. So
that's true.
All right, TNT champion Scorpio Sky, All Eagle Ethan Page, and the co-TNT champion Dan Lambert said that the TNT championship is no longer subject to the open challenge. So perfect heel move. What they did is they shut down the open challenge and said, if you want a shot, you're going to have to get it the hard way. Consider the open door closed. I like it.
Yeah, I think Scorpio Sky, tremendous talent. I think it's great right now having him as the face of TNT. I know you and Matthew have touched on it. Maybe you and I did too. The Thursday morning covered for Matthew recently. But I'm liking this. We talk about the accolades that Scorpio Sky has had since being on AEW alone. Excuse me, and getting it's not SCU anymore. But I can't think of what him and Ethan are called.
They're called Best Men, or they're called something close to that. I can't think of it right now.
Yes, but I'm liking this. The whole thing with Dan Lambert and that belt. I too am like, okay, one belt's fine, but now him saying he's the co-champion, okay, that makes sense.
He's got to wash out his mouth now from licking that belt.
Yeah. I also, by the way, I had to look up that picture that you had mentioned. Ty Conti posting the belts at all.
It was a hot picture. It was hot. Dark Order's Allen, 5 Angels and 10 took on Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. After the bell, Red Dragon continued to serve out punishment on 10 and Angels. Here comes Jurassic Express and Christian Cage, but Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in the ring, Adam Cole, and stole the belts, the tag belts. So now Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly are holding 3 belts, the tag belts and the world belt.
I don't know why they aren't angered and running after them for the belt, because I know that if you lose, you're
what did they say? Possession is the 9/10, or possession is 9/10 of the law.
They must have a lot of trust in their opponents that they're not going to lose or damage their current title. I wonder if they're going to do a thing kind of like what Cora Jade did in NXT a couple of weeks ago.
Oh
Or
boy.
she'll put it,
Oh boy. The
like booby
Roadrunner
trap it.
and Wile E. Coyote.
Maybe,
Man.
yeah, maybe she'll booby trap it. They'll get stuck in a cage or in a net. Yeah, that might be something. They say all the promotions watch one another. So.
They do. All right. The Native Beast, Nyla Rose, took on Maddie Renkowski. I love me a Polish wrestler, but she had no chance against Nyla Rose.
Yeah, well, as we know, Nyla's got her shot since the Rose, and it did mention though that Winkowski, or I know I said that wrong, but it was Polish. Was training.
Renkowski, yeah.
Thank you. Had some training from Thunder Rosa. So
there you go. And Mission Pro. So QT Marshall presents the certificate of accomplishment to Hook. Hook came out there and stared at it, and then basically put Aaron Soho through it and left.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't quite take Hook as someone who would be so accepting and thrilled of a
You know who else won an award, though? Chris Jericho did announce on commentary that Nyla was the inaugural winner of the Chris Jericho Sports Entertainer of the Week award.
Yes, I did see that.
So I'm really happy for her. Here's the big news that came out of this little segment. Danhausen put a curse on Hook, and Hook wasn't phased. And he goes, I cursed him. I cursed him. What happened? That actually was my highlight of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I think it was the first time we've seen Danhausen without best friends around him either. Or at least that I recall on either Dynamite or Rampage, at least.
Sure. But I mean, he came out to put the curse on Hook, and Hook wasn't having it and just walked away. What happened? I don't know. There was the curse. All right. FTW Championship match. FTW World Champion Absolute Ricky Starks with Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Swerve Strickland in Swerve's house. He is not the winner. The winner is Ricky Starks due to interference from Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, honestly, this was a really great match. I got excited just from the I was going to say the pregame, but the pre-match interview with Mark Henry, and where Mark was literally
guys. Yeah,
it's time for the main event. And great match with the two of them. And then also got a chuckle by Taz mentioning that Austin, Texas is the adopted town. Ricky Starks, so he had some of his entourage.
Yeah, his boys. Yeah, his entourage. Yeah.
His I think he said his barber, his
and Jericho kept pissing him on. The guy keeps touching my damn chair.
And yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting a football type, college football type style run-in, or not really run-in, but kind of a reenactment when Keith Lee came out and pushed. I think that was the nutritionist that you just spoke of. Through that banner,
the jackass in the yellow shirt.
And so at the end of Rampage, a brawl there, but it's been good to see more heat building between Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, and of course Ricky Starks and Swerve.
I want to put this on. I'm going to put this on tape right now for March 28th, 2022. Here's how I see this going in the next 6 months. Ricky Starks is going to drop that FTW belt to somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but you know who's going to win it back? Give you a hint. He just won an appreciation award. Hook.
Oh.
That is the perfect belt for him to have. Right now, Ricky's just keeping it warm. Ricky's not going to drop it to Hook. Ricky's got to drop it to somebody else, maybe Swerve, and then Hook comes in and takes it off of Swerve. Because remember, Hook is Taz's kid, and that's Taz's belt.
Yeah.
So definitely. 6 months, 8 months, I don't know when it's going to happen, but Hook is going to be a future FTW champion.
Makes sense.
Makes a ton of sense. Well, what else makes sense is the fact that we are done. We are over time, and we will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Linda and I will break down WrestleMania Raw live from Pittsburgh, home of Mark Madden. Maybe he'll be on to talk about Ric Flair. Who knows?
Right. I was joking. Also, quick plug. Shenanigans Party this Friday night.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot it's WrestleMania week, and I'm freaking out. There's too much. It's too much, Linda Kay.
Yes, I feel like shenanigans is the word of the day at Pee-wee's Playhouse, where we just go insane when you say shenanigans.
Is that what Cowboy Curtis? I mean Lawrence Fishburne in a pink cowboy suit?
And that's talking couch. I can't think of his name, but yes, it is WrestleMania week. Shenanigans Party, everybody. Shenanigansparty.com if you haven't gotten those tickets to come to the I was going to say annual, which it is, but I know COVID pushed things aside the last
It's
few
still
years.
annual.
Yeah, the annual Kevin Nash shenanigans party with all of us from PWR today and PWR. I want to say alumni, but we're from PWR. PWR today is the current format. Come join us. Come party with us. Shenanigansparty.com.
Hey, by the way, I talked to somebody that started PWR, and I got the okay to bring a bullhorn. I might have to go look for one.
Really?
I said, hey, I just want you to know I'll be down there. I'm 50-50 on a bullhorn. He goes, I can't wait to see you. I'm getting a bullhorn. Now, again, I might end up swallowing the bullhorn at the end of the night because it'll be shoved down my throat. I don't know that.
We'll see.
We will see. All right. For Linda Cave, the band they call Meathead, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.